नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं अमिताभ and you are watching Ed Talks with Amitabh. And as promised, every Monday we get you a social influencer and educational influencer from across the country and beyond. There are two kinds of heroes. Heroes that we see on the screen and where we are in the fanciful world and see their heroics. And there are other heroes who are real life heroes, and they are the ones who are making heroes out of ordinary lives, that is their students. And there is one such hero we have today in our Ed Talks, connecting from us from Kolkata, with more than about 35 years of experience and dedicated service in the field of education, serving in various parts of the country. Where when I was talking before, when we invited this particular legend today in our episode, I was talking to her. One of the things that struck me even when I was interacting with her, she said, we are all very normal people who have aspired to make a difference and make a contribution in people's life. Today, if we have become successful in our endeavors, that does not mean we are any different from what others people are like. We are as human as anyone else. Success stories do not change people. Friends, I'm talking about none other than Meena Kak, director of Lakshmipat Singhania School in Kolkata, in West Bengal, eastern part of India. Calcutta is known for being a cultural capital of India and has been known for providing that educational initiatives to the nation across and beyond as well. Friends, without any further delay, let me invite Mrs. Meena Kak with us on the screen. When I was going through her profile, it's a long list of achievement and the contributions she has made, and she has been recognized at the highest level by CBSE and Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, for excellence in education. She's been awarded for her leadership capacities. She's even been awarded by the President for her contribution as an educational leader. Friends, without any further delay, Mrs. Meena Kak connecting with us straight from Kolkata in the School Times web channel. Namaskar, ma'am. Welcome to Ed Talks with Amitabh. Thank you for agreeing to be with us.
Namaskar. Good afternoon to all of you. But I would like to correct Mr. Mohan. It is now the 41st year of my existence in this professional field.
40 years, more than 4 decades. Ma'am, it's been a legendary contribution. 4 decades is more than 2 lifetimes that you have already made a contribution to the sector of education, and you have covered a long journey from different parts of the country. Your own life as will be an experience for people. Just to give you an idea that this format of ours is talking from the life and times and experience of the people we showcase in our show. And I'm sure there's lots for people to learn from your experience and the thoughts in the contribution that you have made. So may I request you to just enlighten our viewers and audience about your journey in life so far?
See, the journey has been very eventful, I must say. There were highs and lows. I'm the youngest in the family of 4 siblings. Okay. And as I told Mr. Mohan that I'm the pampered one. My mother is still alive, so she's my source of strength. My family, my husband, my children, wonderful children, those who have all supported throughout my journey of this life. So I would like to say that this journey had been. I love the journey. It was that you can say that it's taught me a lot many things. It was full of experiences and all, and I did my masters in organic chemistry, and then okay. I had my teacher's training, and from the very beginning I knew that this will be the profession of mine, that because I loved teaching to the children. And then I worked in 4 different schools. My first school was where my husband was posted, that was in Gomia. We had a we had an explosive factory. We had a wonderful school there, Pitt's Modern School, where I worked for 17 years as PGT chemistry. And I must say that my foundation of my profession career laid from Pitt's Modern School. And I learned a lot under the leadership of, there was a principal there, Mr. Parashar. And I learned a lot under the leadership of Mr. Parashar. And after that, when my husband was transferred to Calcutta, I joined a state board school as a principal.
Okay.
That was my first tenure as a principal. And after that, I joined Ashok Hall. And now in this institution, I am there from this is my 14th year. I am here in school from last 14 years. And this year only, I have been elevated to the post of director of Lakshmipat Singhania Academy.
Ma'am, you've been the principal in the school and elevated to the directorship recently. Congratulations to you for that. And your viewers and audience, she has put in her journey with so much of simplicity. She has led some of the top schools in last more than 2.5 decades as the head of the school itself. But then I'm sure there must be a lot of small little stories in her journey, and that is what we would like to pick on from her experience. I understand we all know a lot about you as a principal, as a director of the school, as an educationist. I'm sure we would like our audience and viewers to see that how did you decide come into the education sector? Is this what you always wanted? Did you get the resistance and or it was all a smooth sailing?
See, I would say from the childhood, I was a perfectionist. I wanted perfection in all my work. I was a good student, and I remember an incident that once all our teachers were supposed to have a meeting, and I was a school captain, and we all, some children of class 12, they were asked to look after the school and have classes. And we were given incentive also that the one who will be able to manage the class very well, they will be rewarded also. So all of us were very enthusiastic that yes, today we are going to play a role of a teacher. So I was given to teach class 8, and my favorite subject, that was science. So I had a session of 40 minutes. And later on the next day, some children of that class, tiny little girls, they came to me and they said, when are you going to come to our class again? We really enjoyed your class. I think those little ones laid the foundation of my career and my future. That yes, I want to be a teacher. So that's the first, when I was in class 12, I decided I had a class where I had no experience of teaching a class. And when the children come and say that, when are you going to come to our class again? So that day, it came into my mind that I am going to take teaching as a profession.
That's such a lovely experience. You know, there can be so many small little experiences that we have during our schooling years. They can be so very formative for the student teachers who are listening to this experience. Whatever you are making your child do in the class, you don't know the impact it can have. The small experience of going to a class as a student, as a school captain in a class, and the excitement that ma'am was able to generate in the mind of the student has become the guiding factor for her to take her decision.
But I would like to tell you that my father, who was a strict disciplinarian and had a very kind of aristocratic lifestyle, he did not like this idea that I would wish to be a teacher. A brilliant girl wants to be a teacher, because I don't think teaching profession was not looked up as a good profession. So he said that probably I will be an engineer or a doctor. And he forced me to apply for the post of that time in the bank. There was probationary officers, and he asked me to apply for it, and very unwillingly I gave that test, and I finally I did not qualify for that, and I was very happy. But later on, they surrendered. My father especially surrendered. Okay, she wants to take up this as a profession, let it be. But I took this profession after I got married. I got married at an early age when I was only 22. So Yes, so just after I had passed my masters and I got married, and within 6 months I joined the school. I got married in the month of April and I joined the school in the month of January next year. And at that time I did not have, even had a teaching this training also that I did later on after joining the school. And you will be surprised to know that my principal, who saw that I think my potential, or whatever he saw, he said, "You are not going to do this correspondence course for B.Ed. You must do a regular course." And he gave me 8 months leave from the school to do this my teacher's training. So probably he also saw that streak of teacher in me, and then he said that you have a bright future and you must do a regular course, otherwise it will be a hindrance later on in your career. So I'm grateful to my principal that time, though he gave me leave for 8 months to do my teacher's training course.
All right. But it's very interesting that your father was resistant to the idea of your becoming a teacher, but you were determined enough there. And friends, Ms. Kak is talking about the days when teaching was not considered to be that lucrative a profession. We are talking about 41 years back. We are talking about 70s when she was thinking of becoming a teacher, and the father wanted her to go for more sought after professions at that time. But when there is a determination, you will always find a way. And on a lighter note, Ms. Kak, marriage after all is not all that bad a thing. It seems that you got married to become a teacher.
So no. I just would say that in my husband's family, I was respected for that, because my father-in-law was a master in chemistry. Coincidence it was that I had done my masters in chemistry, and my father-in-law during that time, he was also master in chemistry. So he had great regard for me as a teacher.
That's fantastic.
Might not, but I would tell you that he was the one who used to present me good books on organic chemistry, that you read these books. And he wanted me to do my PhD. But luckily or unluckily, I could not do that. But he always encouraged me. So my in-laws were very, very encouraging. And that is why whatever little I could achieve, I must give the credit to my in-laws too, including my husband.
That is so beautiful to hear that, and all credits to your father to find such wonderful in-laws for you.
Yes.
Ma'am, now this is you were being a perfectionist as a from your childhood. How has that helped you in the field of what is perfectionism and for the students and for the teachers? How would you like to advise them how to take it forward?
See, for teacher being perfectionist, I would say that if you commit an error, that should be your experience. You must learn from that error, and that error should not be made again. That is a perfectionist, teacher being a perfectionist. Because now the teacher has learned, this is the mistake I have committed once, it should not be repeated further. So that adds to the experience of the teacher. And for child being, I think my outlook has changed. See, now when we were students, there were not so many distractions for us. And but now there are so many distractions for the children. And apart from that, there are so many avenues open for them. They want to learn everything. And so I would say that being perfectionist for the student is do little of everything. So it's something like that, jack of all trades. Because that is what I have seen, the children who are jack of all trades, they are successful in life. And because they have basic life skills, they are fairly good at academic, they are good orator, they can do well in their life, they can impress people. That is what is required right now. So I must say, with time, the definition of being perfectionist has changed for me also, and for people around. So I would say that a child who can do everything with ease is a perfectionist, and a teacher who has the teacher who commits error once and does not repeat that again, and that adds to her experience, is a perfectionist.
That's so beautifully said, friends. Mrs. Kak says that perfectionism also, the only thing perfect is the imperfection itself. And she says that for her, as she gained experience in life, today she would like to subscribe a definition of perfectionism, and that is versatility. If students can become versatile, if they can, put their hand into variety of exposure and gain more experience and make themselves adaptable to various aspects of life, that is going to make them perfect in terms of adapting to the changing times and changing need. So today, the perfection is in your skill or to adapt. Perfection is in the amount of experience and exposure that you gain in versatile areas. So I think that's such a beautiful take, and I'm sure your school is operating from that vision where you are the director at the moment as Lakshmipat Singhania School in Kolkata. Ma'am, if you look at this, last 3 months, the lockdown time, it has given a very new experience to everyone, and there is a major shift that has come up. That is earlier students who are in the classroom, today class is in the bedroom, and so even the times are changing here. Last 3 months have raised a major issue about teacher taught relationship, teacher student connect. What is your call and opinion on that?
See, yes, we all know, were not prepared for it. Whether you'd say the teachers, the authorities, and the children, none of us were prepared for this pandemic. See, I remember on 22nd when we were having our extra classes for class 12, we had already started the classes for them. And on one fine morning, it was decided that today the board exam will not be held. So we were a little surprised. That day we understood the seriousness of the situation. And that day itself, one of my IT teacher told me that, okay, don't worry, ma'am, from tomorrow we are going to take online classes. So I looked at my teacher. I said, how is that possible? So he said that you come to the this computer lab. I will show you. You have a lesson, and he set everything in the computer lab. And now he said you teach any topic. So I took a topic, and he showed everything to me live, and I was impressed. I said it's so simple. I said, is it so simple? Then we understood what are the problems that will crop up and all that. But initially we were not perturbed, and with that one experience, I was sure that my teacher will be able to sail through this difficult situation. On that one day, when my teacher showed me that this is how you can take the class. Now there were a number umpteen issues that were coming up later on. Now there might be teachers who don't have a proper desktop at home. They are doing with their small mobile phones. They don't might not be having so much of data space and all that. So slowly we trained our teachers. We made them understand what is expected from them, and I salute these teachers. I was so disturbed. I was so nervous. I was so stressed out. But within a week, the stress eased out. And I saw how wonderfully these teachers went with the flow. And initially, there were some glitches with the students, because I would not blame them, because they were trying to experiment everything. How the online classes will be, how can they disturb the teacher in the online classes? And I said that was very natural of the children of the impressionable age, what they were doing, the tricks that they were playing with the teacher in the class, whether they will be able to play the same trick with the teacher in the virtual class also or not.
Right.
So initial glitches were there, but slowly I must say, I'm not talking about my school only, all over world, the way the teachers have taken up this challenge of online classes. I think hats off to her, hats off to this teaching community. And I would say that children must have had difficult time, because they are confined to their homes. They have no human interaction as such, and they are stuck to their families, their parents throughout the day and all. And See, it is very challenging. It is difficult also. They have boundless energy, and how to invest that boundless energy in a productive work. And
Right.
slowly, then I think the parents understood, the teacher understood that how we can utilize the energy of these young minds in a productive way. So there were lot many activities that were designed for these children, and then also we told our teachers that human connect is very, very important. And as I told, that we should not leave or break the thread of communication. That's very important during the virtual classes. So I would suggest all the teachers, when you are having these kind of classes, at least spare 15 to 20 minutes every day and call at least 3 or 4 children of your class and ask their well-being. Talk to the parents, how you are coping up with this kind of situation. So this is a time, I think this is a challenging time when we can where we can build that cord with the parents and the children, and everything will ease out with time and all that. And we must say that this phase shall also pass by.
This surely will, and this brings me to a very important scenario in a school sector, and that is there are few stakeholders. One is management and the principal and the executive. The other is the teachers. The other is the parent, and the other is the student themselves. There is a lot of relationship factors which are very, very important in the one is the syllabus, one is the curriculum, the other is the teacher taught relationship, parent school relationship, the management and the executive and the teacher relationship, parent teacher relationship. So what is your call on these relationship aspect, which is so very important in the school and education sector?
It's really very important to build up the conducive environment in the school. It's very, very, relationships are very, very important. If relationships are nurtured, then you can see the positivity all over. See, I would talk first about the management authority or the principal relationship.
Right.
See, the management should give freedom to the principal to work. And you would see that the schools where management has given freedom to the principal to work, those schools are flourishing. You can see,
Right.
and I can give example of my school. Very, very, I must say that all the 4 schools that I work, management was very, very supportive. So I will give the credit of my success or whatever little I have achieved to the management, because they allowed me to work. So this is on the part of management. Management should give freedom to the educationists to work. Now
Right.
let us talk about the student-teacher relationship. There should be a lot of warmth in the teacher-student relationship. Now, the teacher should be such that if your child is disturbed, distressed, and in stress, he or she should be able to identify that, yes, this child, oh, suddenly the child was so bubbly. Suddenly, what has happened to the child? See, always it is not academics. Okay, academics is integral part of the school, but at the same time, there are so many other things that encompasses around this academics. That is social skills, scientific bent of mind, temperament of the child. So if the teacher can develop that kind of a warmth with the in the school environment, then there will be positivity all around. And now I will talk about the parent-school relationship. One thing I would like to tell the parents, that never ever criticize the school of your child in presence of your child. Now, if you want your child to have respect and pride for the institution where he is working or where he is studying, never ever criticize the child in the presence of never criticize school in presence of your child, because for him it is the whole world. For the child, it is the whole world. It is the teacher with whom he builds up the relationship. It's all his friends are there, and he has a kind of a protective, safe environment where he's spending 8 to 9 hours. So it is the whole world for him. So if you try to bring that kind of negativity in the mind of child, it will not only show there, it will show in the family relationships also. So respect for the school that child will get from the parents. how the school can be run efficiently, that freedom should be given by the management. And children should have, teachers should have lot of warmth in the relationship. I will support here Mr. Dalai Lama, who said, when educating the minds of your youth, we must not forget to educate their hearts. It's very important. You understand their empathy, their love, their aesthetic values, and their ups and downs in life. Then you have built up a strong bond with your children. So you are educating their mind, educate their hearts too. Very well said by Mr. Dalai Lama.
And very well emphasized by you. While you educate the minds, don't forget to educate the hearts, because it is not just about the logic of the head, but the logic of the heart has to combine, and that provides and makes a child into a complete individual, and more ready for the future, for all kind of relationship. And so beautifully said by Mrs. Kak, ladies and gentlemen who are viewing us right now on live, or those who are going to view us on a recorded medium. The three things which I picked up from her explanation: warmth, respect, and freedom are the three instruments. The freedom by the management to the teachers, to the school, to at the same time, freedom and the trust by the parents in the teacher and the student is very, very important ingredient for ensuring a healthy environment for the child to grow up. Teachers need to have that warmth. While you're teaching syllabus, there needs to be a lot of warmth and the connect and the relationship factors to be looked into, and that is where she talked about educating the hearts, having that warmth with the child, and providing that due nourishment to the heart of the child while we are taking care of needs of the mind. And then the respect. Parents, please remember, if you have entrusted a school or a teacher, you need to trust them as well. Just entrusting the responsibility will not be enough. You need to trust them and respect them and ensure that the child has the due respect. And as ma'am quite rightly pointed out and emphasized, let us not share our grievances in front of the child. There can always be a parent-teacher communication. There are platforms, and that all the misunderstandings can be sorted there, but never ever involve a child in between. Otherwise, it will be difficult, for your teachers will not remain empowered to give that power of education to the child. In fact, listening to you has reminded me, and we at times share in our show MKF, that is Mohan Ka Panda. My name is Amitabh Mohan, and we always share Mohan Ka Panda, that is MKF. And the MKF that I am reminded of, to emphasize what Mrs. Kak just now said, friends, that is, you connect before you correct. Correction will only happen once you have developed that connection. Because do not try to correct anyone without developing that connection, and that is where the nourishment for heart while you are taking care of the mind is what is
I would like to add up here, Mr. Mohan. See, I always tell my teachers that it's a kind of a very, it gives me shudders. It is a very scary feeling. If you sit, introspect, and think that what a huge responsibility is on your shoulders, because these children will be what you make them to be. If with this thought in mind, you rear your child, you will give your best to the child, because you are putting this child to the ocean of this struggles, throwing him out. Okay, now you are ready to face the challenges of life. But just think, have you made him ready for to face the challenges of life or not? It's a very scary feeling. And if you feel that you have done your job 100% and you have prepared this clay, the mold, you have molded this clay with love, affection, and given all the values, then you should be proud of yourself as a teacher. That yes, I have given this world a child who has been prepared by me, and he's ready to face the challenges of life.
Absolutely, and that is so very important for us to understand, because we have a great responsibility. And when we talk about all the four stakeholders, let me take one out and emphasize on the three: the school management, the teachers, as well as the parents. We have one common purpose, and that is the child. And we have a great responsibility on our shoulder, so beautifully emphasized by Ms. Kak. And friends, that's what we need to work on. And Ms. Kak, I would like your permission to encourage our viewers and audience to, if they feel and they want to inquire, can they ask their questions as well from you? Will that be okay with you?
Oh, yeah.
Friends, you are watching Ed Talks with Amitabh, and today the hero for our show and the social influencer, the educational influencer is Mrs. Meena Kak, director of Lakshmipat Singhania Academy in Kolkata, only on the School Times. And you have an opportunity to write your queries if you want to in the chat box, and we'll try to take as many queries that we can during the course of our interaction. And while we build our, but one request, while you put in your questions, please keep putting it again, because it keeps on scrolling up on my screen. So if it has gone up, I may miss on it. So keep putting it again and again till the time your query gets responded to. And I would also like to acknowledge the sponsor for our program today, that is HLS India, is the institution which is focusing on counseling, training, and consulting. And in this pandemic, online counseling and consultations are also available. So thank you to our sponsors, HLS India, for this episode. Coming back to ma'am. Ma'am, you have worked in various types of schools. You have worked in state board, you have worked in CBSE. Of course, you've spent more time and years in a CBSE school. And you've also worked with co-educational schools. You have worked with all-girls school. So, what is the difference between co-educational and all-girls or all-boys school? Because we whenever whosoever has a child in whichever type of school, be it what you call as if my child is in a co-educational school, I think all boys or all girls school probably would have been better. If my child is in a all girls or all boys, I feel that probably co-educational school would have been better. Grass is always greener. So I would like to get your analysis and experience for people to understand the pros and cons of both co-educational and all girls, all boys school.
See, I have worked for 33 years in a CBSE school. In three CBSE schools that I worked, out of three CBSE schools that I worked, two were co-educational and one was all girls. And even I worked in a state board school for 7 years that was also co-educational. So I have mostly worked in co-educational school for a very short duration of time, that is 4 years. I worked in all girls school. I would always prefer for my child, or I would prefer a co-educational school. Now, if you ask me why a co-educational school, but I have seen that there are less in disciplinary issues in co-educational school. And if you ask me why there are less in disciplinary issues in co-educational school, I feel that the girls have calming effect on the boys. This is my observation, that I've seen that the girls have calming effect on the boys. Even if the boy is very aggressive, very short tempered, but if he sees 6 girls, 10 girls around him, he will calm down. Because this is a question of his own prestige. So I have seen always the boys, they're more disciplined in a co-educational school. I would not be able to comment on all boys school, but I have seen the girls can be very, very boisterous. In all girls school, the girls can be very boisterous. They might not be as boisterous in the co-educational school. Again, they would have to put that kind of an impression that they come from a good family, they have nice culture, they have nice values. So I feel the girls and boys, they have calming effect on each other, and that is why always I prefer that in the co-educational school there is more conducive environment to learn than in all girls or all boys school. And
All right. So,
I would like to add that I like the confidence of the girls nowadays. They have a
okay.
say. They have a say. They have mind of their own. And I have observed earlier, these boys used to say, "Oh, you're a girl, you cannot do it." Suppose the boys are playing basketball or football, and they will say, "Oh, you will not be able to do," and something like that. They shun them off. And but I have seen these girls, and they fight with with that kind of spirit that if you think you're superior, we are more superior than you. So that kind of confidence that has come in the girls in last couple of years, I admire that. I'm really very happy that the change that I am seeing in the society, that the girls have mind of their own, they have say of their own, and at the same time families are also listening to their suggestion, and they have been given importance in the family matters also.
so women empowerment is close to your heart, and the girls coming forward is something which is very, very close to your heart. Prince, Mrs. Cox says that there are pros and cons of every kind of school, but she has take in favor of a co-educational school. She feels that in co-educational school, both boys and girls, they have a more holistic experience and exposure, which has a greater calming effect on them. That is the call by Mrs. Meena Kak, Director, Lakshmipat Singhania School, Kolkata. Uh, Ma'am, when we talk about girls, and then as you said that girls also can be very boisterous, I would like, this is something very intriguing which I would like to talk about. That, for long it has been said that there's been a gender bias that has been prevailing, that the boys are more macho and the girls are more feminine, and that makes boys more boisterous than the girls would be. So that's the prevailing myth, though I personally don't agree with that. But then what is your call in terms of being that boisterous approach of boys and the girls?
See, I cannot generalize this. I cannot generalize these. I cannot say that girls are more mature, boys are less mature. There is something genetic also, I must say. There's something biological also. Girls definitely, for their age, they are more mature. They can take wiser decision at the same age the boys cannot. Um, if you say the boys are more aggressive than the girls, I would not agree. Though at times, I have told the parents when they have told me, "Oh, ma'am, boys will be boys." I said, "What do you mean to say boys will be boys?"
Right.
Then I can say girls will be girls. So now slowly this kind of mindset is dissolving, I feel, and I'm sure that in the families now the girls have equal say, but whatever that biological difference will always be there, but at the same time environment also plays a major role to groom these children. So it all depends what kind of environment you are getting at home. Suppose now there is a girl in the family and the boy also in the family, and both are given equal importance, then they grow up with the sense of pride. But if in a family where there is a girl, it says, "अरे तुम तो लड़की है, तुम दूसरे घर में चली जाएगी." You have no say in the family matters, and the boy is given prominence and importance that yes, you can say your views and opinion. There, the difference can be seen. There, those girls will be little meek, shy, will not be able to express themselves. So it all depends what kind of environment you are going to give to your children.
All right. So, in terms of upbringing and the personality, it cannot be generalized as a gender-specific issue. And as Ms. Garg quite rightly pointed out, and it is a message to everyone listening to us right now, a lot of people say boys will be boys. So then we should also now remember girls will be girls. And, no specific attitude can anymore be, attributed as gender specific, because it is about the personality, it is about the context, it is about the background, it is about the environment that is given to the child. And if the both boys and the girls are given, a similar amount of exposure and experience, and if both are provided the same context, the outcome will also be similar in nature. And that is what Mrs. Kak's take is. It is not about gender. It is about exposure and the environment that you provide.
I would like to give my example. We are three sisters. I'm the youngest in the family. My eldest sisters were working in a bank. My second sisters were working in an office. She was trained in seeing the office works and all. I am here. You can see. So all our three sisters in that age, that they were made independent, and my father was proud of us that my daughters are. I have reared my daughter like any other family can take care of their boys. So it a lot depends upon the family. 40 years back, if all three sisters were working in different sectors, it shows what kind of freedom were given to us. So it all depends on kind of environment you give to your children.
This example of yours also brings me to a context, and that is, how do you see? I mean, you have been part of a generation, then you have been responsible for upbringing of the next generation. So you have seen your 4 decades in the education industry itself. Different, a lot of people taught by you are now must be the parents of teenager children as well. So you have seen generations across. How has the time changed in terms of social context and in terms of educational context?
It has changed drastically. See, we could not imagine that the world can change so much in last 4 decades. So I would like to tell everyone, you do not confine your children in your own learning. You do not confine your children in your own learning, for they were born in another age. So like right now, if I ask my granddaughter to learn the way I was taught in the school, she will say, what kind of a method, what kind of outdated method are these of teaching or learning? So world has changed drastically. So we should not confine, we should not say, oh, mere zamane mein ye hota tha. We used to do this, we used to do that. No. You have to see how the time has changed, and you will have to change with the time. If you don't change with the time, you will lag behind. See, I would give you a very simple example. Yesterday only, when I was talking to my granddaughter, I have two granddaughters. One is 9-year-old, and I was talking to her yesterday, and she was busy on her this laptop and all, because all of them are having online classes and all. So I just told her that I wish I was there with you, and I wish I had wings and I can fly and come to you and all. So then she said, but if you come to me flying, you would not have mobile in your hand. So you can just imagine, they cannot imagine their life without mobile phone or these kind of gadgets. They cannot. So there has been so much of a change that we did not even visualize that there will be so much change in the society, or the way the children will be trained. And there are so many avenues open for the students. See, when we were there, we had only three kind of profession: doctor, engineer, or you can work in a bank. Or if you don't get job anywhere, you become a teacher, like me.
Right.
But this was my passion. I would
Right.
say,
It was the time, yeah.
I turned my passion into profession. And if you change your passion into profession, you can do wonders. That is what I tell these parents also. Let the children do what they wish to do. If suppose they want to be a journalist or a fashion designer, and you are asking him to study science, he will not succeed in that field. Later on, he will switch over to the another field. So it is better understand the inclination and interest of your child and accordingly groom them. So don't confine and confuse the present age children with your age. Let them groom, let them understand what is the world around them, let them understand their strength, their weaknesses, work on them, because the world is so competitive. As I told you, they don't have to differentiate between right and wrong. They also have to differentiate between two rights or two wrongs. So world is so competitive. That is why this kind of ambient, this kind of environment has been given to these children, so that they are ready to face the challenges with 21st century skills.
All right. So lots have changed in last so many decades in education and in society. But one thing that has not changed is your passion will always take you in the right direction. Because if you follow your passion and if you pursue your passion, whatever the time be, whatever be the modernization, you will be able to take it up in your own stride and adapt to it. And as Ms. Kak quite rightly pointed out, when she chose to be in the profession of teaching, that was not considered to be such a lucrative profession. There were other professions which were considered to be more elite in those times and context. But her passion towards education today has, it's been more than 4 decades, and she's happy and very contented and satisfied and made a mark just because she followed and pursued her passion. So, friends, follow and pursue your passion, and you will always be doing a great job. This brings me, when you are talking about changes, and you talked about your grandchildren being the on the technology, gadgets, and everything. You know, while even before pandemic, technology was something which was coming into education in a big way. The smart boards were there almost in every good school. The only concern was that how much it is in use by the teachers was the management issue always was there. But then even those gaps are bridged, because now in last 3 months, the laboratory that we have been put into, everyone is experimenting with technology, and we have become more of a digital India now, and everyone is digitally comfortable or has adapted to. Children, as you quite rightly pointed out, as I'm always emphasizing, they are the natives of this digital world, and we are the digital migrants, and we also have our generation has migrated well and adapted to it. So there is a lot of things are going, even after this lockdown will be over, lots going to change. The lot of hybrid processes are going to be there. Now, in the current context and the way the future is going to unfold, or maybe next 6 months, if the lockdown doesn't open for another 6 months, there is a possibility that schools may not come up into play, or whatever it be, that is government's decision and the call. We're optimistic maybe by September something may happen. Uh, now, in whatever the context, even let's presume that ideal is restored in few months' time from now, and the schools are coming back to the normal functioning. The roles and the responsibility of the parent, of the teacher, of the school is going to undergo a sea change. It's going to get redefined. So, how do you see the role of a teacher and the role of a parent getting redefined in the new context?
See, I would like to say nothing can substitute a teacher.
Right.
See, that is a fundamental and universal truth. You ask people, those who are on only online learning, they will also say that no one can substitute a teacher. But what is the need of our now, that it should be a blended learning? Now,
Right.
first is when the children come back to school, there will be different kind of issues now. There will be so much of aggression in them because they were confined, they were jailed probably. They will think they were jailed for these 5 or 6 months. So once
Right.
they are let loose, there will be lot of aggression, and teachers should be patient with them, because if they are patient, then only they will be able to handle these children. So I visualize that as they come back to school in small numbers initially, and then later on the numbers will slowly swell up in the schools.
Yeah.
But we the entire modus operandi will change. We have to be patient with the children. We have to listen to them. We have to understand what is bothering them, and many of them might go into depression because now it took them so much of time to get adjusted to this online teaching. Now then, when they are fully adjusted to it, then there is a time to break this and come back to schools. And when they come back to school again, the same similar kind of environment that was there before they were in the lockdown, again they have to get adjusted to a new surrounding, new kind of a teaching method. It will not be easy for teachers, it will not be easy for children. So I feel it will take about 7 to 8 months for the teachers and the children to get back to the groove and understand, yes, we are back to school now. And I would say that most affected are the children of lower classes, because
Right.
these children of primary section, they don't even know why they are confined to their homes, why they are not allowed to go out. See, other day I was seeing a video where the child is crying, I'm not able to eat my ice cream. There is no pizza, nothing. I'm not able to move out of the house. What is this life and all that? And she's crying. So the most affected, we might be thinking, oh, they're very happy, they're at home, and the parents are also happy, they're not troubling us right now. Okay, we are keeping them engaged and all. But there is a lot playing in the mind of the children of lower classes. And I would request these parents to spend quality time with them to understand what is going into their mind. Mr. Amitabh, you are the psychologist. You know that at the age of 5 to 7, all the values or basic values the child imbibes. And whatever he sees in his environment, he takes up that.
Absolutely.
See, we see different children coming from different backgrounds, but all of them behaving differently. Why? This is because of the kind of physical environment that they have got at home. So that is what I'm saying. Now it is the duty of the parents now. They have huge responsibility on their shoulders, that they must spend quality time with them. At least one meal all of them should have together. One meal where they can discuss what happened, whatever they did the whole day. One activity that they can play together. So that when they come back to the normalcy, from this new normal, when they come back to the normal, they don't take so much of time to settle down. But we are ready for all kind of eventualities that might happen when the child comes back to school.
School, right? You so beautifully said. It's going to be, we need to be psychologically sensitive during these times, because stress and anxiety is growing. Teachers need to be very, very patient when students come back to the school, because they have gone into an experience which they have never envisaged. I would, as a psychologist, I would like to put forward that while there are two kind of extremes which are happening at the moment in the households. One, people are getting a lot of time together. So a lot of differences which were there in the families are getting sorted out, because people are confined to the house, spending time with each other. And a lot of families from difficult times are becoming happy families, and the pro-action is taking place, more maturity is prevailing. On the other side, the statistics reveal that there are other households where the domestic violence has shown steep rise also during this lockdown times. And it is the same child who is witness to these kind of environments at home as well. Parents or the disturbed family environments, earlier kids were out in the school for a long period of time, and they were not witness to a lot of conflicts which were there in the personal family circumstances, but they are now witnessing all that there. So it will all have its manifestation, which so beautifully emphasized by Mrs. Kak from our experience, that we need to be prepared when the school reopens. There are going to be a lot of psychological manifestations which we need to be ready with, and the parents also need to provide that support and to the children. And I think even the role of people like us, and psychologists and the counselors in schools and otherwise, is going to be a very, very important role in times to come, to bring back all the children to that state of normalcy. In fact, I would like to share, ma'am, to emphasize and exemplify what you said just now. We, for last 3 months, we have been getting so many calls, like children, as you quite rightly said, primary children, they don't know why we are being confined. There is a lot of negative conversation in many households taking place about Corona and COVID. And the child is suddenly waking up, going off to sleep and waking up saying Corona, Corona. So the Corona stress is growing. Children are, parental anxieties are getting transferred to the child, economic as well as health-related anxieties. The parents, please be careful. Don't verbalize that in front of your child. And I would, before I take it further with ma'am, I would like to point out, we in psychology say, and the teachers are all aware of it, that whatever parents and teachers that we teach to the child is only about 20% of the learning of the child. 80% of the learning of the child is from the observation and the experience of the child. And right now, before the lockdown, teachers were an additional example and the role model for them. Nowadays, the classrooms are in the bedrooms. and it is the child is 24/7 with you, parents, and whatever behavior you are modeling is becoming the major part of the observed behavior of the child. Child do not have a reference. Teacher is coming in the online class mode, but maximum observed behavior is what child is experiencing. So if you're seeing a change on behavior in the child at the moment during these time, you are the environment for the child, and you have a great responsibility at this point of time for the healthy well-being of your child, and that is what ma'am was emphasizing.
I would like to sum it up. The key of everything is the patience. Take very
Right.
simple example. You can get chicken from egg, not by hatching, not by smashing. So this is the crust of everything. So the key of everything is that one has to be patient.
One has to be patient, and that is what the key word at the moment is. We've got a lot of people appreciating, acknowledging our conversation in the chat box. There is Pooja Sharma writing a process which can only be successful when a school and a home work in unison, so cooperation being emphasized. Madhumita Chatterjee writes, parent must be careful when talking about teachers in the presence of their children. They often have no clue how much the child loves his her teacher. Ma'am, is it a facade, or do you really think that children love their teachers?
I I would say they really love their teachers.
They do.
I remember my teachers who taught me. I give example of my teachers to my staff. So I must say that because I don't know about other schools, but the schools that I have worked, especially in Lakshmipat Singhania Academy, there's a strong bond between the teachers and the students. Strong bond.
Absolutely.
And see now, baby, see, I feel that the school where the teachers motivate their children, their slightest of achievement is appreciated. That that becomes a kind of a whole world for them. Oh, I'm so good. And then that child tries to show even more that, oh, I have certain more qualities in me. And you can develop full flowering personality of a child. See, if suppose you ask me that what motivates and inspires you, that see, there are very small things that inspires a child or an adult. I can see that what inspires me the most is the smile on the face of my children on their achievement, either in academic or co-curricular activity. I celebrate that day. My husband at times will say, "Oh, you don't celebrate the success of your own children, on daughter and son. You celebrate." I'm telling you, in my home, all these celebrations are when my children achieve something. Or I can say, what inspires me to think that I have still not achieved my best. I always think I have not still achieved my best. So that inspires me that I have to do little more for my children. So I'm saying that it is very important for, see, we children, we people. Inspires me when my teacher appreciates me, when my student appreciates me, or when my parent appreciates me. That motivates me. And so these are very small things that can motivate a person. If these things motivate me, motivate the child also. You can motivate the child by just appreciating him or her, and his day is made. So inspire and motivate your children so they feel good about themselves and they take their own responsibility.
Make your child feel good about themselves, celebrate their success. Teachers enjoy the smiles on the faces of the child, and that is why there's so much of connect and the love that the children have for teachers. You to this, I always, when I conduct my teachers training, I always quote a line of a song, tum agar din ko raat kaho, raat kahenge hum. It applies to every child in the primary school. If a teacher कहता है कि ये जो जब सूरज निकलता है तो रात होगी, the child will say that. And friends, that is the trust and the confidence teacher enjoys with the child. Let us strengthen, celebrate, and enjoy that further.
See, now, Mr. Mohan, and through this platform, see, I must have touched many lives. I have 40 years of experience and all. And now my old children, whom I taught about 20, 25 years back, at times when they say, "Oh, ma'am, I still remember your chemistry class," that is my achievement. That is what, when yesterday only one teacher showed me, one child has got admission in some good university, and she wrote this was only due to you because of your economics classes and all. And the teacher felt so good and said, I want to tell these parents and children, these small pleasures you can give to your teachers, to your school, to principal, that we were, see, there will be so many letters of complaint coming to school. I ask these parents, so many good things these teachers do, why don't you send one letter of appreciation? I'm telling you, any letter of appreciation that comes to our school mail goes to the whole school. It goes to the whole school, yes. So such is the power of in these kind of appreciation. So I would request these parents to this platform that and to my children, I would tell my children, I am proud of you all wherever you are, and I would tell my parents that at least once in a while send some appreciation note to your teacher, to your school, to your principal, and say that we are proud of you. Absolutely. That is the reward that we expect from children and parents.
Absolutely. And we have Anuradha Gupta further voicing it, saying that it is said that it takes the entire village to raise a child. A healthy collaboration between families and educational institutions and the society at large play a vital role in shaping our children. And as friends, whether it is the school, home, teacher, parent, us, as Ms. Kak just now further emphasized, let us work towards making the child happy, because that is what we, and one of the tools is appreciation. You cannot make a child do better by making him feel lesser. Appreciation has a power, and the teachers and students, they are hungry, and they are hungry for affection, they are hungry for appreciation. You satisfy that hunger and see how that life blossoms into an amazing personality. I could see a lot of statements and the queries have started coming in, ma'am, but then we have already taken a lot of your time. It's been 1 hour that we've been interacting with each other.
I'm loving it so much, I would have gone on and on. But I know there is a time limit, yes.
So,
I'm hard out there, so many things that I could not share. But okay, next time.
I'm sure we will have more platforms to go on. I would request you, your final message to teachers, to parents in this TED Talk episode.
See, I would like to tell the parents, be proud of your child. He is God's unique creation. Don't compare him with anyone, him or her with anyone, because he is special. So let him celebrate that he's special creation of the God. And to teachers, I would like to say, just think every night before going off to sleep. Just think what a huge responsibility this society or this country has given you, and you will never go wrong. And I would see no one seems other day some of these teachers we were all sitting and talking about it. No one speaks for the principal. Everyone speaks for the teachers, for children, and no one speaks for the principal. I would like to tell all the principals, you all are doing wonderful job, and especially during this pandemic, how swiftly, how fast you have taken up this online challenge. Hats off to all of them. This would not have been possible without the support of management, support of the principal. See, whatever school you see, it is a reflection of your principal too. So from this platform, I want to send my feeling of appreciation to all the principals too.
Thank you so much for saying that. And friends, an organization is a length and shadow of its leader. And at the moment, there's nothing which could have made it even more visible. Kudos to the leaders at the helm, the principals, who are being so ably supported by the teachers, the team of teachers and the other staff and the management for ensuring that the learning goes on even in these trying times. And Mrs. Kak makes a special mention of the principals in these times, because every other unit is being talked about, and she says leadership needs to be appreciated. Until about some time back, she was in the same chair, now being the director.
Now in the position to say that. So that is why.
Absolutely.
If I would have been principal, I would not have any position to say that.
As a director, she wants to acknowledge her principal and all the principals across the country and beyond, ensuring that the learning continues. And
lastly,
yes,
I would like to also thank my management, especially who has contributed in this growth, professional growth of mine. I would like to thank my Singhania group, especially Mr. Bharat Singhania and Shardaji Singhania. In last 13 years, the kind of respect, love that I have got from them, I do my namaskar to them through this platform.
thank you so much for acknowledging and that reflecting that attitude of gratitude. Thank you so much for being part of our show, ma'am. I'm sure my audience must have really got enriched with your experience. Thank you so much. Friends, you are watching Ed Talks with Amitabh, and you were listening to Mrs. Meena Kak, Director of Lakshmipat Singhania School in Kolkata, live on the School Times. I'm sure you will agree that she was being so forthcoming, so candid, sharing things from her personal life, opinions which were so spontaneous and candid about various facets of education in the normal times as well as in the new normal context. With our commitment, we are going to bring you another such influencer, social and educational, every Monday. Till then, thank you and take care. Stay safe. God bless.